I was pregnant with my second child, and I had scheduled a C-section. Um, I had scheduled the C-section for a couple of reasons. The first one being that I had one previously with my first child, and it was an emergency procedure after over 30 hours of labor. The other reason was that my husband had just started a job, and he started a new job, you're on probation, and he was on call, and it just could not be an option that he wouldn't be there with me. And we needed the job. I was obviously not working. And so it just made sense to schedule that appointment. My doctor, my gynecologist also was like, this is a good idea. Even though the whole pregnancy had been really good, like it was healthy and the baby was healthy. So we could have aimed for that natural birth, which in my heart of hearts I would have wanted to do. But given all those circumstances, we scheduled it. Also, just to give you context, I wouldn't describe myself as someone who, you know, is a traditional Christian in that, like, I didn't go to church. My husband and I didn't, like, pray every night. That's not to say that we didn't have a relationship with God, but I think the way that religion is perceived, it might not have seemed that we were that way. And so that fed into some insecurity, some fear. I remember just waking up feeling really, really nervous, and not nervous about anything beyond the fact that I hadn't prayed enough. I wasn't clear about whether or not God would allow such a thing to happen, me scheduling something that was supposed to be so natural. And by the time we got to the hospital, I was already like, the audacity of us to schedule an appointment to have a baby. It wasn't an emergency. It wasn't a necessity. It was a choice. And a choice that I hadn't considered checking in with God for. And a choice that I hadn't felt like discussing with God. And that had to be evidence of my unworthiness. I felt like, am I a good Christian? Right? Am I just saying that I have a relationship with God? Have I demonstrated that? Does God know my true heart? You know, and I think that was like that insecurity, right? Like you're going into something with fear and you assess all these things, and am I living by these standards? Is God going to take out his time to focus on me, the person who didn't take the time to say a prayer, or who prays when they feel convenient? And that's not to say that that's what I do, but like in that moment, that's what it felt like I did. And so in that moment, I felt like I didn't even feel worthy enough to ask for help. I didn't want to say a prayer because, like, of course, in this time of high need, right? Like, I'm going to ask for God's help. And I remember just feeling alone. Um, it wasn't like fear. It was like alone in a room full of people who are going to help me give me my baby.
This is the moment when Latoya says that God came to her rescue. While lying on a hospital bed, feeling alone and unworthy of God's help, with her husband holding her hand and a team of trained specialists preparing to bring her second son into the world, Latoya says she felt the God of all peace come to her aid.
It shifted. And it shifted because of God, right? I felt that I was not alone anymore. I felt that he was there, even without me asking, because I did not pray. I did not feel like I was worthy enough to pray. How dare I pray right now because I need him? But then that sense of like ease, like, and it wasn't like something that like was immediate, but it was something that like slowly kind of like came upon me like a blanket, if you will, like a kiss a hug, an embrace, something like super warm and just super calming. And I knew that everything was fine. I knew that my baby was fine. I knew that my body would do the thing that it needed to do in order to complete this task. And I knew that it was because of God. And things weren't happening fast around me. Things were like happening right. And I felt like my body like returned to like homeostasis. Like everything was focused on this one action of my baby coming out of my body. And that happened. And then everything returned, right? Like I could hear back the beeping of the machines, and I could hear my husband, and I could see and hear the shuffling, and I could hear my baby, right? And I mean, it is a moment that is really difficult to describe, but that's in the truest essence of like what I would say like a God moment is. Like I have no words. There are no words. I'm not privy to the words that could describe that moment. It was just a massive amount of feelings, an ebb and flow of feelings that just he saw me. Um, I didn't call on him. I didn't pray directly, but he saw me. For people who might listen to this, my God moment, and say, well, Toya, you have medicine in your body, right? How do you know that this wasn't the medicine that was making you feel calm and good? Um, I would just say, right, the medicine is there to regulate my body and numb certain areas, right? But the feeling that left me was the loneliness. I felt a presence. I felt safe. I felt secure about my relationship with God. So, no, not medicine. Really, really not medicine. All God. God is the most unconditional form of love that we could ever hope to experience. God is in everything. God is everything. But God is pure love. And for people who feel like me or felt the way that I did, where you question your worthiness, you question your path, your walk, because it doesn't look as pristine or it doesn't follow the standard. God is love. God loves you. Like the end. You are one of his children and he loves you. There's nothing that you could do for him to not love you. And that's powerful. That's freeing. That's happiness. That's God.